Hello, friends. My name is 𝗔𝗵𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 and I'm a technical writer at the Cyber Express. Today, in this episode of Security Pill, I'm super excited to have Miss Sami Jenkins with us. She is the co-founder and chief operating officer of the cybersecurity firm ThreatLocker. We've heard about it a lot. Sami has been a manager at the cybersecurity company 𝗏𝗏𝗀 in the past. How are you?
I'm good today. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Um, I will ask my first question. It is about endpoint security market which has been growing and can move at a compound annual growth rate of 9%. So the way cyber attacks have become sophisticated, it has created a huge demand for sophisticated endpoint solutions as well. So what are the current trends according to you and the future of endpoint security?
Well, endpoint security seems to be moving away from detection and it's moving towards a zero trust or by default approach, deny by default approach. Detection has been failing for quite a long time now, and we seem to be pushing towards allow listing, deny what you don't need, just allow what you need to run. And, obviously there's a lot of severe consequences if you let people run what they need. If, you let people run as admins, I mean, you're better off taking away all of that and just doing allow listing. And it obviously makes you more secure and it's more streamlined going forward.
Right. Absolutely true. More access controls are needed to improve overall security. It's been spoken about. So can you briefly expand upon it and the need for allow listing? What is it and its requirements in companies?
Well, you have to think of it like ransomware and other malware. It is just software. So allowing people to run what they like. I mean, they can run that software if it's embedded into an attachment or, if they click on a link in an email. Allow listing denies all software that's not required in your environment, and that will include ransomware and will include malware. It's very important because it's not longer possible to check every piece of malware. So if you do allow listing only, I mean, you should allow what your user needs to run in that environment, and then you block everything else by default. Right. It's very difficult, in predicting user behavior, so it's better taking away the controls from them.
Great, that sounds good. Can you elaborate on the need for MSSPs and now, that there has been a migration towards it? What are the benefits of employing MSSPs over MSPs?
So MSSPs seem to be more security focused. I think they're less budget focused about what they're adding to the stack. They're more focused on how they can help their client and what they can do to mitigate attacks going forward, and giving them least privilege access as well. You're trying to align your business practices to your customers, and you're trying to put the right security solutions in your stack. Being concerned about security rather than the cost of items is what's needed going forward. I mean, obviously you have a budget, but you need to explain to your clients what they need in their stack, and you try to align the products with that.
Right, absolutely. How do companies work towards ensuring security measures that also make them compliant with various regulations of the region, keeping the number of data breaches in mind and its repercussions? What is their best ally in ensuring that they comply with all the norms?
You should continue following the cyber standards. I mean, you've got CIS, you've got NIST. Australia has Essential 8. I mean, the White House memo released this year, it said you should implement a zero trust architect. You should try to go along with minimum security levels or maximum security levels. It is difficult, but I mean, getting breached is difficult too. I mean, you would rather not get breached and have to deal with the cleanup afterwards. You should obviously try to lock down, do as much as possible on your side.
Absolutely. Now coming to the topic of encouraging women into cybersecurity, women occupy only nearly 24% of positions in this field of cybersecurity. Now, I'm just wondering, you've done so much work in this field of cybersecurity. Your insights are going to be invaluable. So there is this massive gender gap in this field. How do you think governments can be helpful, instrumental in ensuring more women into this field, and what else can be done to create momentum?
I mean, I think it needs to start at an early age. I think it needs to start at elementary level. You need to start teaching people at a young age what they should and shouldn't do to be cyber safe. It's not uncommon to have different gaps in different, sectors. Right. But as long as the environment is not hostile towards women, I mean, everybody can push forward in it. more women should explore security, and it is a very, very dynamic industry to be in. I mean, newer generations have been very good at pushing it forward and more inclusive as well. So I think they're a more technical generation because everything's online now. The schooling's online. They're pushed towards using it, so it's just teaching them at a young age and what to expect in cybersecurity.
So you would suggest having it taught in schools, so
yeah,
they get drawn to it.
Yeah, to get drawn to it. I mean, explain the ins and outs at a young age. I mean, kids have emails at school from elementary age. So you just, you tell them not to click on links. You tell them not to chat online to strangers. I mean, I recently, my friend gave me her son's computer recently to clean it up. And he was chatting to people via email in countries that he shouldn't even, chatting to people in. So it's pretty scary when you start getting access to technology and they don't know how to use it correctly.
Right. Absolutely. So this is my last question, and we are almost over in like 10 minutes. Do you think there is a difference in working in cybersecurity for women when compared to other industries? If yes, if you experience something like that, how did you handle those? And are there any myths about women working in this field that you would, if you noticed, you would like to dispel those myths?
Cybersecurity is a very, very difficult job, man or woman. I mean, I don't think it's any different when you're starting out. I think if you've got a hunger and you want to learn and you are interested in technology, you just have to work hard, stay calm, get stuff done. I mean, if you've got an interest in it, you will excel in it. The only myth really about cybersecurity is in the movies. It's not full of hackers. I mean, it is pretty boring once you're doing it right.
True. Right. I love that answer. Sami, if you are okay, I would like to ask you one final question.
Okay.
Your story inspires me. You are a co-founder of a cybersecurity firm, and you've been working in this field since quite a few years. So with your kind of, now we are trying to rope in women into this field while you become a founder of a company. So you have, overpassed the limitation of time, and you've done something so massive so early, when now people are becoming more aware of this concept of cybersecurity. So what drew you to this field?
Sorry, can you repeat that one?
What caught your attention when you were starting up? How did you join cybersecurity?
It never used to be called cybersecurity. It used to just be called, network security or just security. Cybersecurity has been added in the last few years. The same with Zero Trust. I kind of fell into it. I met Danny, who's my husband and the CEO of 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏, when I was 17, and from that I've always travelled with him. I started doing work, and then we got into email security together. And then I done some IT management as well. So I think if you just work hard, understand what you're doing, be honest with yourself, be honest with people, and then you can figure out and ask for help. I mean, if you need help, ask for it. I mean, people are willing to help.
If you ask for help, would you not, what about the fear of being taken as somebody who probably is vulnerable?
I mean, I've never come across that, but I think if you don't ask for help, I mean, there's always Google. You can Google answers, but you shouldn't have the fear for ask for help, because the fear of failing, can be worse. So if you ask for help, you get the help you need, you can work through the problems, and then you've got an ally for life then.
Absolutely. I love that answer. So Sami, thank you so much for taking your precious time and enlightening us about so many topics and about women in cybersecurity. I hope we talk to you again and have a more elaborate discussion maybe on another topic. Thank you for giving us your time.
I appreciate it. Thank you.